I've started to work in the boot section of the car, and what I'm trying to do is to install the mounts for the rear floor, which is what these are. That's the passenger side, this is the driver's side. And then what I have to do is to make up the woodwork that goes around here. Now, that was all rotten when I got the car. In fact, these weren't even installed, they were just loose. So what I have to do is to figure out where things go, what shapes I need, and how things will fit in. If I get it wrong, it means that the boot lid, which goes from here up, won't line up properly. Now what the previous owner did is he started to actually make the driver's side, and this is what he did, but when I tried to fit it, it looks like it actually wasn't finished. In fact, there needs to be a piece put in here somewhere to enable the support for the boot lid to bolt onto it. Before I fix that, what I intend to do is to actually install these in the right positions, which will give me the right data points to then make the timber, then start to fit where these supports go, so I can actually then hang the doors in the right place. So I'll start with the boot section, then I'll move down into the tyre well, which is what this is for the tyre door, and I'll work out how that will fit in. So there's a lot of fitting, trial and error measurements to go before I actually get into that. I've now remade the timbers for each side of the boot hinge, but the problem I have is that because I didn't have any templates to work from, I'm not too sure exactly where the actual hinge mounts screw onto the timber. So what I'm trying to do is to hold the boot in place with the hinges on, position the boot as best I can, and then sort of work backwards and try and fit the hinges in place from inside, mark them with a pencil, and then try and just temporarily tack them to see if I've got it right. So it's just a trial and error to see how I go. As you can see, supporting the boot while I'm doing all of this is a bit difficult as well. I've got it propped up with a tin on the bottom. I've got a rope going through the lock hole with a rope attached to the front of the car, which I'll tension that to help pull the boot up to get the right gaps, and then see if I can fit the hinge. It'll either work or it'll be a disaster. Well, that did work. I got the positioning for the hinges, and I was able to actually mount them up so everything works properly. I had to alter the wood, shape of the wood on both sides, because I was actually getting it fouling on the side of the boot and the hinge. But now that's right, the boot fits, and I've yet to do the floor, but I'll do that once I've looked at the gaps around the boot lid. The gaps aren't too bad. I've got a few modifications to make on the other side, just around the top edge here. But all in all, they're very, very close gaps. Having fitted the boot, what I'm doing is to even up the gaps around the opening. I've decided that I'll have a 3mm gap all the way around. That's before paint. When it's painted up, that'll close up a bit. To achieve that, I've actually had to MIG weld across the top section here and down there. This section on the bottom was fine, so all across the top has been MIG welded, and on the passenger side down the edge there, I'll actually have to cut the metal back and then re-weld a seam, because the gap over on that side is only about 1 millimetre. A lot of work, a lot of trial and error, a lot of filing, grinding, welding, but the end result is what you're after. You're after a nice even fit around the panel. It certainly didn't have that when I fitted it. It fitted reasonably well, but the gaps were uneven, and maybe someone wouldn't see that, but when you do the work yourself, you're the one that sees it more than anyone else. So it's probably more for my own benefit to achieve an even gap than anyone else.